like, who am I, And like, I have Unfiltered with Mikkel. I'm trying this new editing style, so we're trying to see what that looks like. You don't have those like core values to like give a helping hand when need be. There's so much that goes into it. Like, if you don't have a good thumbnail, it's just, we're in person now. I don't normally do these in-person videos. Hey guys, so today on the Mikkel podcast, I'm trying something new. I wanted to discuss the 3 hardest things about starting a podcast. Who am I, and what is the future of podcasts, my podcast, Mikkel's podcast. I have Unfiltered with Mikkel. I do GDA. I just want to discuss all of that and, my plans for the new year. It's 2024 now. Are really just diving in. This is a quick little chit chat. I'm trying this new editing style, so we're trying to see what that looks like. It's just, we're in person now. I don't normally do these in-person videos. It's usually me just behind the studio box and we're doing that. But, this is going to be edited. It's going to be really cool and fun. And we're just trying stuff out. All right, so the 3 hardest parts about starting a podcast. First, I would say is the thumbnail, just because there's so much that goes into it. Like, if you don't have a good thumbnail style, or you don't have usually how I usually do a video, I'll start by going to Canva or there's some more softwares. I'll see if I can find the names. They're not on this tablet, but I couldn't find the names. But yeah, I start by going on some type of editing software. This recent podcast, the one we're looking at right now, was edited on CapCut. Apparently CapCut has a feature where you can edit and make thumbnails on there now, so that's cool. But yeah, just, I would say, making the thumbnail, being authentic. Right now, because we have this setup where it's very production style. Look at this. This is we don't normally have nice things like this. And this isn't even nice production. This is my phone, a gimbal thing on a tripod thing. And yeah, and usually I like to show my face. I like to see my face as I'm recording. But I didn't want to see my face because honestly, that kind of makes it a more intimate me experience. So it's we are one right now. This is one space. So yeah, just making a thumbnail, trying to figure out the theme. Cause for me, I think the thumbnail I made today, that might be the thumbnail going forward for a long time to come for Mikkel's podcast. Unfiltered Mikkel has its own theme already. So there's not too much editing that has to go into there, but really posting on YouTube, you want to have that thumbnail down packed so that the next video, it just becomes easier and easier, as you go along. You know what I'm saying? And just doing that is really the hardest part when it comes to it's one of the hardest parts. Second thing is just titling and stuff. Sometimes if I'm in a creative rut and I can't really think of a title, maybe I'll go to some old videos that I watched in the past and see how other content creators made their titles, or just seeing how they structured it, how many words they want to use, because you don't want to make no long essay title. Ain't nobody reading that. You know what I'm saying? You want a nice, concise title, get straight to the point, easy, simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? And then just editing. A video like this, different from a YouTube video versus a podcast, is with a YouTube video, it's a lot more cutscenes, jokes, and there's a lot of editing, sounds, B-roll, music. Whereas a podcast, the only edits you really want to have are if you have multiple cameras, you want to have different angles, just so that you're not looking at the same screen over and over again. You definitely need to have multiple cameras, good lighting. The lighting in here, I honestly feel I'm oversaturated. So we're gonna probably work on buying some more saturated lighting options, because right now I'm bright AF. I already know I'm bright. The lighting is probably hitting me. So we're gonna work on that. But we have good lighting for the most part. and just good audio. Like right now I'm using my cell phone. This is my cell phone. I'm using it as a mic because you don't really, well, you need expensive mics. Like some mics I've been looking at, if I don't even have Amazon downloaded on here, this thing is a waste. I don't even use this. Maybe we'll do a giveaway or something. But what you call it? Yeah, I have some mics on my Amazon cart. Like I have like the whole podcast like set up. Like I have mics, I have like lighting, I have cameras I even want to use, even though the camera I have now is pretty good. I have cameras I want to use. Like I have freaking, what else do we need? Oh, I need like more foam. I need more foam. I have foam I want to use. Like there's a lot of things I have to use that like you guys don't even know about yet, but like it's in the works and stuff that is coming soon for the podcast and stuff like that. But like you're gonna slowly start seeing like things improve or whatever. But pretty much the editing, the thumbnail, and the title, like, cause like sometimes, well, for YouTube videos, I definitely be sitting on YouTube videos for a minute because I know there's so much editing. But with podcasts, I probably don't sit down on podcasts too much personally. Like I pretty much get podcasts up and running pretty fast. But what you call it? Just speaking on that and like what I do, like who am I? You know, and like that's the one thing I haven't ever done in like any podcast or like any like YouTube video or anything on Spotify or anything in general. Like I've never had a sit down video where it was me and you and I was telling you this is who I am and you guys were like just listening word for word, you know? Like no, you guys know me, but like who am I as far as like why am I doing this? What are my morals? Like why create? Why did you just wake up one day and say, I want to create podcasts, Mikkel? And why are you good at this? Who are you? So, like, who am I? I would say I'm a lot of things. I'm a trick of all trades. Like, I feel like I'm the kind of person, if I apply myself to anything, it's going to be pretty good. Like, I'm a social butterfly. You know, I can talk to pretty much anybody in any situation. I'm really good at controlling the situation. You know, I'm really good at just being a socialite and conversating. Pretty much like my social skills are A1. I like to think. I like to have long conversations. Those kind of conversations where it's just like I'm asking the right questions. I'm asking those deep questions. I'm not asking like dead end questions. Like they're very open ended. Like why would you say that? You know, what will make you imply this? Like things of that nature. You know. I'm a nice guy. I'm mature. I want to help the world. You know, a lot of people in this world, I don't know what it is. But a lot of people in this world are so selfish. And it's like, I don't know why. And then they be surprised when like people don't want to do nothing for them when it's like, you gotta, you if you're putting out that selfish energy and you're expecting people to want to help you out in return, like, you know, the favor and help you and this, that, and the third, what you're putting out is what you're going to get back. You know what I'm saying? So like for somebody like me, I'm constantly helping and stuff like that. And like for me, I can't have anybody in my circle or like anybody in my general, like people that see me on a day-to-day basis. If you're not a team player or like somebody that's willing to help somebody, like you're just why this, why that, or selfish, you know, with your time, don't talk to me. Because you're a waste of time, you're useless, and, you know, there needs to be some correction in you, because, like, I can't force you to help nobody. Like, that needs to already be in you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell nobody to do something they don't want to do, but it's, like, the fact that that's not already in you, and, like, you don't have those, like, core values to, like, give a helping hand when need be, and it kind of feels like I'm implying somebody, and I am kind of implying somebody, but I won't say their name. It's my brother, but let's just call it, he needs to fix himself. He needs to check himself before he wrecks himself. We got an argument last week, but that's besides the point. He needs to check himself. But what you call it? Other than that, I'm a real person. Like I'm real AF. I wouldn't tell y'all something I wouldn't do personally. Like I'm here to put y'all on game. I'm here to help y'all out. Here to help out all the young people. Here to teach y'all about college and how to survive. Teach y'all about money, how to survive making money and like managing your money. Like I'm just a cool person. I can dress. I got swag. Like I like nature. I like eating healthy. Like I just like all the right things. I'm doing all the right things. Like I'm overall like a solid guy. Like honestly, and I should be working out more, but like the fact that I'm even like preaching like you guys should go to the gym, be in the gym, body positivity in the sense of like, all right, I don't know what it is, but these people that be lying at each other talking about like, oh girl, you look good, girl, you look good, girl, be like 400 pounds. I'm like, come on now. Y'all need to stop lying to each other and be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because now, no shame to people with 400 pounds, but it's like that's obesity. And I'm not going to glorify that and celebrate that just because it's quote unquote being nice. Like, let's be honest, because if anything, to call it you being nice is handicapping that person from never achieving their true self. And like some people might be like, oh, it would do what they feel is comfortable. No, this isn't that podcast. I'm going to talk about uncomfortable things. We're going to discuss things where it's like, it's unfiltered. I can say what I want. I control this space. This is my space. I can control this. So it's like, if you're like, oh, you shouldn't say that about this or shouldn't say that about that. I'm like, go somewhere else. You clicked on my face. But what's it called? I'm just here to speak the truth, talk my ish, and then go out into life, have more experiences, and then bring them back here to the podcast, tell these stories, freaking learn about people's stories, capture these stories. Because like I've had family members who like passed away and like have already gone. And what I would do for like those stories to have like a podcast with some of my family members that are now deceased literally would be gold right now. So like this is kind of like the purpose of this podcast and like just capturing moments, having that open dialogue. It's unfiltered because I wanted to keep it, not a general type of, we just do political or we just do finance or we just do social media, pop culture. I probably don't even talk about too much pop culture except for like when it's really important, like, I don't know, well, not really important, but like when it's really like prevalent, like this is big news, like Kendrick Lamar just dropped a song and he threw some shots at Drake and J. Cole. Like that's pretty significant, like things of that nature. But for the most part, I kept it unfiltered so we could have that umbrella of like limitless. This podcast is limitless. You can do anything, you can talk about anything. Okay. So I did that for a reason. I did that because I am a good person. Like I'm the kind of person where it's like, if I'm in your friend circle, granted, I don't have too many friends, but like if I am a friend in your friend circle, he's a contributing member of the friend group. He provides value to the friend group. I feel like everybody in life should strive to provide value in some form of, if that's whether your job or, your personal business. You need to find a way to provide value. Excuse me. And then when you can do that, there's your sense of purpose. It's pretty simple. But the future of podcasting, let's pick my brain. Picking my brain, I would say the future of Unfiltered with Mikkel / Mikkel's podcast / do we have any more names for the podcast? No, I think those are the only two. But yeah, the future of that, because like they go hand in hand. Like if I make a Mikkel podcast, it's gonna be posted on my Spotify, which is Unfiltered with Mikkel. Or if I make an Unfiltered with Mikkel podcast, it's gonna be posted on it. It's the same person. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I could separate it, but where's the fun in that? All right. But as far as goals, the goals are this. Today is March 30th. I probably shouldn't be telling the dates, but today is March 30th. The goals are I want to be able to post 4 podcasts a month, 2 video and 2 just audio. Probably the 2 audio might be like just business related, just because like, I do get some commission from that and stuff. So like I will have 2 audio podcasts. Granted, maybe I'll do a video podcast about business as well, but sometimes I like to look at my notes while I'm like talking during the audio podcast about finances. So like, it's not really good to be looking down at the screen the whole time and podcasting to you guys. Like he's losing the intimacy of the connection. He's looking at his iPad. Granted, you guys don't care. Like if I look at my iPad, I gotta look something up, gotta look something up. But you don't want to lose that intimacy of the podcast. So yeah, we won't be doing that. But what I call it, as far as the Unfiltered Mikkel, this is what's been bothering me. This is how I feel about this. This is what I've been up to with that. That can all be posted video and on Spotify and stuff because I mean I think about what I say on the podcast, of course, but like not too much thought has to go into it because it's just like these are thoughts that I already had in my head. So like I don't have to overthink what I say. It's just like it's pretty natural. It's pretty easy to make these podcasts. Just give me 6 topics and I'll give you a good podcast that week. You know what I'm saying? Like talk about anything, but that's the goal. Goal is to, have this visual. You guys can see me. Mikkel is alive. You can pinch me. I'm alive. And, we have this intimate time between, us to just powwow, grab a snack, and listen to some good podcast audio. Like for me, back in the day, what I used to do, back in the day, like I'm old, but I used to go to work when I worked at Home Depot. And I would just listen to podcasts for hours and the shift would just go like that. And like one day I just woke up and was like, I could do this. And like, some of my favorite podcasters, I'm going to give them some shout outs. Emma Chamberlain, Joe Rogan, Bill Byrne. To call some new podcast I'm listening to is he's not a podcaster, but David Goggins, he does like really good podcasts whenever he's like a guest on a podcast. And there's another guy, you guys probably know the name of him, but what's it called? You guys are so. And his name's Andrew Tate. And if you listen to Andrew Tate or whatever, he's not a bad guy. Like the people that really be like coming for his neck probably don't even be listening to half the stuff he's saying. And like if you actually listen to the stuff he says and like the stuff his brother says, like it's pretty positive. It's just people are just so dang sensitive. And granted, I'm not trying to hate on nobody being sensitive. Like, if you feel that way, you can feel that way. And like, this is still an open space to like have that dialogue. We can have that communication. So maybe we could come to a common ground. But at the same time, it's just like you have opinions on things. They have opinions on things. If I agree with some of the things that they're saying, that's that's where I stand. And like, that's my place. And we don't have to agree on everything, but like just to not vibe with somebody just because they think different from you. Well, I don't know. Cause like that, cause then someone would be like, oh, would you vibe with the clan member? Like, not saying that, but what you call it? I'm just saying there's room for dialogue. And I'm the kind of person where it's like, I want to provide that space for dialogue, ask the right questions, really see if we can come to a common ground. Maybe, maybe not. But at least we had that conversation, keeping the door open. I want to have guests on this podcast soon. This podcast is soon to be a podcast where I am teaching people how to make podcasts. Not really this, like actually this, but if you want to start a podcast, all you have to do is shoot me a text, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Mikkel16_ and tell me like I want to help me make a podcast, and I'll have to come up with some type of fee for that, how much it's going to cost me to teach you how to set it up, get the cameras, get the lighting, get the audio, things of that nature. I'm going to have to come up with a fee, and I'm going to teach you everything I know. And then I'll release you to the, wilderness, and you can go out and make a million podcasts yourself. But I want to start doing that. And like, I already have like 4 to 5 people already interested in like starting podcasts, like as we speak. And I'm already looking at studios right now for like when I do want to interview guests and stuff. Like, I think there's like a guy from Vietnam. He went to the Vietnam War, a guy that is a professor from Howard University. I got a police officer, a war veteran, like cool episodes of people that I can pick their brain. Cause like I like Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay interviews are so good. Like Shannon Sharp, the Cat Williams interview was so good. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to have this thing be a thing where it's like I have the updates, the life updates. I have the random brain break podcast, but I also have the amazing interviews where it's like, because I'm a really good interviewer and I ask really good questions, and that's another talent I have. And like all of that wrapped into one to become this like really special place where it's just like, these are Mikkel podcasts. The central thing is Mikkel's doing it, but it's also like he's giving us some information on this. He's teaching us about science. He's teaching us about life. He's teaching us about health. He's teaching us about children, how to start your life, future, just anything can be spoke of, and it's unfiltered. Nobody's telling me what I can and cannot say. Granted, I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. I'm not gonna tell you nothing I wouldn't do personally. So, but it's unfiltered. This is the direction where I want to go in. It's a lucrative direction. Hopefully one day these podcasts can make me six figures. I'm not doing it for money, but like that would be the dream. You know what I'm saying? Like you're so consistent that eventually the podcasts just start, producing money. So like that's where the consistency is going to come in, when we're making these 4 podcasts. What I say? 4 podcasts a month? Yeah, 4 podcasts a month. Making that. So like 4 podcasts a month. Let's pull out the calculator for that one. Let's see how much that is a year. Granted, why do they have ads on calculator apps? And that's going to be an episode we're going to go over, because like I have a lot of pet peeves and stuff, and it is real bad, especially being Virgo. And like, let's see, 4 podcasts times 12. That's 48 podcasts. I'm going to make 48 podcasts this year, guys. Granted, it's the quarter of the year, but maybe we'll just double up. I don't know, but it's going to be 48 podcasts this time next year, and hopefully this can be monetized. We can be at the big 6 6 figures, and what else? We have a lot of subscribers. Right now we're at like 600 subscribers, and I appreciate you guys for subscribing. And yeah, this has been long awaited. I know you guys have been waiting for this. Like, when are you gonna really make stuff? You talk a big game. But I got podcasts in me, guys. I got podcasts in me. I don't know. Just be lazy. I don't know. But when you make the first one, it's always easy. You make the first one, and then you're good, right? The first one's amazing, great. Don't change the wheel. Keep doing you. You make the second one, amazing. And like, really the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from all of this, this is the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys on. When you're making a podcast, really anything you produce is gonna be amazing. So like, don't stress about it being perfect, because it's like, we're just happy that you are creating content. All right. So just create content. Trust me, it's going to do well. But, you holding yourself back because you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to do amazing. I don't know what the future holds, but just create. Just start. All right. This has been nice. This has been cool. This has been a pleasure. I'm going to go chop this up, edit it up, and we'll see you guys next week for the next podcast.